a joke. It's just funny.
What's going on, everybody, on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook? Steve here, Rake and Profit over at rakeandprofit.com, coming back to you with another video. And today we are joined by my good friend Ty Nguyen of the Ty Nguyen YouTube channel, right?
Yep.
Great to have you here, man. And Ty is actually an 18-year-old man who is actually he was a high school dropout, 17 years old, dropped out of high school. And today we're going to be sharing a story of how he essentially went from dropping out of high school to, now having created multiple six-figure drop shipping businesses on eBay and Amazon. So we're going to be sharing his story, fully transparent. Really excited to have you on, Ty. What's going on?
Hey, man. Steve, I really appreciate you for having me on here. It's going to help me a lot, and it's going to help your audience. But yeah, I dropped out of high school when I was 17. I finished 11th grade, and it was during the summer of 11th grade that I discovered about money making and blah blah blah. But like when I was in 11th grade, while I was in 11th grade, I actually made my first few $100 flipping phones on Craigslist. So I was looking up deals on Craigslist, phones, learning about phones. So because I already kind of knew about phones too. Like I knew about iPhones because I did jailbreak or something, whatever it's called, when I was younger. And so I kind of knew about how iPhones work. So I kind of used that knowledge when I was in 17 and then, found Craigslist deals and flipped the phones only locally. So I travel around my town and, I buy it and I flip it and I resell it. And I made my first few $100. And so basically during the summer of my 11th grade, which is 2017, is when I kind of looked into drop shipping and started learning about it and understood the power of drop shipping, basically.
Awesome. Very, very cool. So if you guys aren't following Ty on YouTube, definitely go into the description right now, scroll down a little bit and subscribe to his YouTube channel. He's putting out a lot of free content. And, I know there's a lot of people who are watching who are younger, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old and wondering, what I should do. We're not here to say drop shipping is the only thing you should do, but this is definitely a business model that works. And really, really excited to kind of dive into more of Ty's story. And we're going to be giving dropping a lot of gold nuggets and knowledge bombs on you guys. So before we dive in any further, again, be sure to, if you haven't already, like, comment, and subscribe to this video. Check out Ty's YouTube channel. And I want to shout some people out in the comments right now. We got a bunch of people flowing in on today's Tuesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday. I'm like, is it Monday or Tuesday? All the days are the same when you work for yourself. So
yeah, exactly.
On a beautiful Tuesday afternoon. Yep. So we got Jenny Spontan in the house. We got the Entrepreneur. I love that name. We got my main man, Zach, in the house. I was actually had the privilege to meet up with Zach and Martin at the Connecticut Thrifting Meetup just a couple days back. So great to see you here. We got DP Tavares saying, yo, what's good? Hey, man, having a good time right now. Interviewing Ty. Going to talk about some drop shipping. We've got Eric Rightheart in the house. We got Doro Vlogs, Donovan Roberts. We got Craig. We got Kenny. We got so many people in the comments right now, so it's great to see you all. What's up, Pat? If you guys are excited for the show, do me a big favor and smash that like button. But let's address the elephant in the room before we get started right now, because obviously there's been some changes on eBay with the terms of service, and there's a lot of opinions floating around right now. Some people saying eBay dropshipping is dead. Dropshipping is dead in general. Others are saying, listen, this is nothing new. Things always change. This happened on Amazon and people are still making it work. Yep. What is your, I wanted to say unbiased opinion, but it's a little biased because you're obviously a dropshipper, but what's your unbiased opinion? And let's just be real, man, the good and the bad of what's happening with dropshipping right now before we kind of get into everything.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to try to be as unbiased as I can, but I'm going to talk from experience. Okay. I'm not going to talk from no data or evidence. Right. So I dropshipped on eBay first. And when I was dropshipping, they allowed dropshipping. Okay. Just to make that clear. And I even asked them on the phone specifically. Okay. And they asked me, what do I do? I said, I dropship. And they're like, okay, cool. They increased my limits. And they actually still increased my limits. The last time I called them was just like 2 months ago or something. But when I was dropshipping on eBay, they allowed it. And then as time goes on, it just looks like, there's a lot of competition, lots of saturation, and people are just complaining, low sales and all that stuff. but there's still a lot of people that are making money. And I also started dropshipping on Amazon. And on Amazon, they specifically don't allow you to do it. But there's still a lot of people that are doing it that makes a buttload of money. I mean, I just started and I was able to make up to like 10,000 in sales in a day. And I just look at these other guys I've been selling for years, and I'm just like, man, they're just making nasty amount of money, breaking the rules specifically. And meanwhile, you have the other people who are like, oh, it's against the rule, I'm gonna get suspended, and then these guys are just rolling day by day. So the point I'm trying to make here is, just because it's in the terms of policy doesn't mean that you can't do it. And just because you do it doesn't mean that you're a bad person, doesn't mean that's a bad business model, doesn't mean that you're scamming people, doesn't mean any of that. Dropshipping is a real business. It's actually a real business. You actually have to take care of the customers, because trust me, if you don't take care of the customers, your account's going to get shut down immediately. So that's literally defines a dropshipping business. You have to take care of the customers. I mean, if that doesn't define a business, then I mean, what is the business? So I mean, I'm just going to continue dropshipping. And obviously, you have retail dropshipping, wholesale dropshipping, private label dropshipping. I'm always going to do retail dropshipping, but for all of you guys that are getting in, you would definitely need to start looking into the other types of dropshipping, because you don't always want to continue doing retail dropshipping, because again, stuff like this happens, and anything can happen to you, and you got to make sure that you have other types of business models to facilitate the failures of the retail in case that it fails.
Awesome. Cool. And what type of results are you getting right now in your drop shipping business?
Yeah, so the last time I was selling, I mean, I was on track to do 100K on Amazon, and my eBay store is just kind of on the side to help me run my Amazon business, because I mean, Amazon is where I made a lot more money. So eBay, it's just like eBay helps me run my Amazon business, because on eBay you get the money immediately, and then on Amazon you have to wait. So that's kind of like a thing that helps you run your Amazon business if you don't have that capital and the cash flow, because on Amazon you need a lot more money.
Okay, cool. Very cool. So I'm sure there's some people watching right now that are wondering, Ty, what exactly is eBay drop shipping? Because there's a lot of people who are watching who are, they're looking for additional ways to make money. Maybe they're thrifting from garage sales or thrift stores. How would you define drop shipping? How exactly does it work?
Right. So the beauty of drop shipping is you can just sit on your ass at home and make money. Like, you don't have to, drive to the store, go and look and scan and all that stuff. You don't have to ship anything. You don't have to, pack anything. I mean, that's just great. I mean, it sounds lazy, but at the same time, you have to also understand that it's one of the best business model, because it's really, really low risk, especially for anyone that's starting in business. Because everybody that starts in business are very skeptical, very scared to lose any money. So obviously, drop shipping would be perfect for anybody who's new, especially me. I didn't have any business experience. I didn't have $10,000 to invest. I didn't have $50,000 to buy a warehouse or buy a bunch of inventory. But I did have drop shipping where I could make sales and money without having a bunch of money or any inventory up front that I might not sell. That's also the other thing. Like, if you have inventory and you're new, you might not know what sells or what doesn't sell, so you can just end up stuck with like 50 inventory and be, all right, this sucks. And then you want to give up. So that's kind of like why drop shipping is like great.
So what's your exact process though? Like, say somebody's watching right now and, there was somebody who left a comment and said, it seems too good to be true. And I actually see a lot of comments coming in about this, specifically about drop shipping, just because my audience is used to, like, for example, I used to think this as well. I thought the only way you can make money is you had to have a physical product in your hand. If you can't touch it, then there's no value. I think it's just people don't really fully understand how it works. So kind of give an example of like maybe start to finish of how you find a product to listing it, to selling it, and how do you actually make money in that process? Right.
So let's just go back to the simple basics where you're back in high school where everybody copied each other's homeworks. So it's literally like that. I mean, so basically, you have Amazon to eBay. I mean, you can do multiple things to eBay. I mean, it's not like you have to use Amazon, but Amazon to eBay is the most popular thing, but doesn't mean it's the most profitable. So you got to understand the difference. So let's say we're using Amazon as our supplier. Amazon's where we're getting our products from. So let's say you're on eBay and you look out on eBay and then there's like millions of listings on eBay, right? So you would just search up, like, let's say you want to sell a table. So you just like search up a table on eBay and look at, okay, which listings are selling. And then you would do a reverse search back to Amazon of that product from eBay that you found that are selling. And then you look at it and compare the prices. So if it's higher on eBay and it's lower on Amazon, that means that's retail arbitrage happening, online arbitrage that's happening in the process. And if it sells on eBay, that means people are buying it. So what do? Literally do the same thing. You take that product, you put it on your store, create your own listings. Now, you can either do it the lazy way, or you can get creative and optimize the listings, optimize the title, optimize the images, description, and all that good stuff. But essentially, it's basically copying and pasting on based off the data that you have off of eBay.
Okay, awesome. And what are your typical profit margins when it comes to drop shipping? Because again, people need to realize with each business model, you're going to have different margins. Thrifting from garage sales to thrift stores, man, 100, 200, 300% margins is pretty common. Like retail arbitrage from thrifts, from like big box stores, 30 to 80% isn't uncommon. Online arbitrage, 30 to 40 to 50%. Private label, moving more down to like 15 to 20%. Same with wholesale. What about drop shipping from your experience?
So again, this also depends on many factors, all right? Because there are strategies that can help you increase your margins, like advanced strategies, but depends on your supplier. So let's say you're using Amazon or eBay, right? I mean, obviously the competition is fierce. So the margin you can expect is 5 to 10%. But let's say you're using Home Depot. Some people are getting 50, 20% Home Depot because again, there's not as much competition there. And let's say you're using an even less known supplier like Lowe's, maybe. I mean, Lowe's and Home Depot is kind of the same, but you can use Lowe's, Kmart, Sears, whatever other supplier that are out there. That's like Wayfair is good too, Costco. So, I mean, you have to look at what type of suppliers that you want to use. Like, obviously, the more popular the supplier is, the easier it is. So the lower the lower profit margins you can expect. So, I mean, Amazon's 5 to 10% is realistic. Home Depot, 15, 20. Walmart's a good one too. But then again, it's also competitive. 5 to 10%. But then again, drop shipping is all about volume. The more volume that you do, the more money that you make.
You put up the upfront work once you find a hot selling product and you find your supplier, whether that's retail or if you don't want to go against the terms of service, finding a wholesale supplier, a private label, or shipping things into like a prep center. Once you do that upfront work and you find that product, you're pretty much done, essentially. I mean, obviously you have the customer service and maintaining the relationships and whatnot.
Yeah, essentially. I mean, that's how it worked before, but I think now you kind of have to do a little bit more work because it's not as easy as before. And I'm going to be honest about that. I mean, when I started in 2017, it was literally just copy and paste them.
So what now? Like you have to optimize the listings more? Are you running sponsored ads on eBay and different things like that?
Yeah. So now, I mean, you kind of have to get more creative. Like here's the phrase. If you do what everybody else is doing, I mean, you're going to get the same average results, right? So you got to get creative. You want to run ads. You want to optimize the listing. I mean, you got to put in that extra amount of work in to get that slight edge, because you're going to need that slight edge to compete and everything. And again, also, there's also a lot of people that are quitting because it's against terms of service. So that's also your competitive advantage if you stay on the platform.
And it's crazy is like the only thing they're putting in the terms of service, and correct me if I'm wrong, you know more than I do, is they don't want you essentially drop shipping from retail stores. There's nothing to do with wholesale suppliers, right?
Yeah. I
think drop shipping from wholesale suppliers is a fantastic opportunity, just because I know most people are scared to get on the phone. They don't have a lot of business experience. Like I feel like a lot of people, Ty, want to drop ship because they just want to sit behind the computer, no face, no name, and just do what they do.
Exactly. And that's really great because you don't have to talk to anybody. You're not trying to persuade them to buy your stuff. Like you can just, all you need to do is put up a listing, do marketing to it. It's not like you're convincing somebody to buy it, or you're trying to come up with like 5 different tactics to, persuade a buyer to buy. I mean, you don't have to do any of that. I mean, you can occasionally call them up and deal with customer service, but you're not like doing cold calls or warm calls or whatever you want to call it.
Awesome. Just looking at the comments right now, we got borderline hoarderish. Hoarderish. Yes. Like a hoarder, hoarding lots of stuff. Hopefully you're not hoarding stuff. If you're a thrifter, you got to get that stuff listed and out the door.
Yeah.
We've got, so Borderline is saying, whoop, made another live this week. I'll have to rewatch part of it. Yeah. So if you guys can't watch the full thing, the full show, we obviously have the replays up. Success with Soli is in the house. We got Jenny saying, you guys are in the right place. So much to learn from these people. Glad to have you here, Jenny. The entrepreneur saying, so true, Rakin. The cold calls is what separates the drop shippers from the actual entrepreneurs. And I did want to say as well, I saw this happen like several times over the last 3 or 4 years, like with YouTube changes with the algorithm, different eBay changes. When Kindle Publishing, they made a ton of changes years ago. And what happens in business is there's a couple guarantees in life. Number one, you're going to die. Sorry to go there, but it's going to happen. Number two, if you make money, you're going to pay taxes. And number three, the third guarantee is if you're in business, you're going to get punched in the face and things are going to change. And you're going to have 2 options. You can either take that hit and figure out how to not get hit in the future and adapt, or you can just run away and say, I'm scared to get hit. And that's what's happening right now in drop shipping is there's a lot of people who are kind of running their businesses, not like businesses. They're not taking care of customers. They're drop shipping. They're like going crazy, utilizing all these softwares. They don't even understand how the softwares work. So what's happening is like customers are getting effed over really bad. So eBay and Amazon, they're trying to pretty much increase the barriers to entry. And they want you to make sure that like, if you're going to sell a product, whether you're touching it or not, that the product's going to get there on time. So it's one of those things where I think right now you're going to see a lot of people quitting drop shipping, a lot of people saying and making videos and talking trash, saying it doesn't work, this and that. But there's always an opportunity when the herd is running, like for example, when the stock market's going down during the crashes, some people get more rich during those crashes than actually when the market's going up. So had to go on a little tangent, Ty. Anything to say about that?
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say something, but I forgot. I was going to say something. I had something, but I literally forgot.
Anyways, we'll keep moving forward. Let us know in the comments what you guys think.
Yeah, guys, have you questions? If
you have any questions, and I want to know if anybody's been in business for an extended period of time, 5, 10, 15 years, I would like to know, share a story of a business that you've been in where things changed and everybody ran, but some people stuck with it and kept moving forward. I would love to know your story about that. Some of these comments are super funny. Let's move on to the next question. What were your biggest challenges getting started, Ty, when you first, man, you're 18 years old. It's so crazy. Like, I feel like I'm talking to someone like much older and wiser, but you're 18 years old, man. Like, what were your challenges first getting started?
Yes. So, I mean, my first challenge is dealing with the negativity and the opinions of my family, some friends and all the negativity, right? Because when it was during the summer where it was like an awakening for me, because prior to that, I was just living a normal life that was designed by my parents. Like, it wasn't like my life. Like, I'm not saying that something wrong with that, but like, it's just where it's just like, hey, your parents want you to go to school. I mean, follow the traditional path, go to school, get a degree, get a good job, do good in school, get good grades, all that nonsense. So I was doing that, but then I wasn't like passionate in doing it. I was just doing it just to make my parents happy. That's literally all there was to it. Okay. And, I came from Vietnam. So back to that again, like when I moved here with my family from Vietnam to the USA, their goal and their purpose to move here was for me to go to school and get a good education. It wasn't for me to drop out and do business. They did not expect that at all. So, I mean, in terms of my parents, they were okay. But then like my relatives were just like, Go back to school. Go back to school. What are you doing? At least finish high school. Are you stupid? You're almost done with high school. You have 1 year left. You have 1 year left. And it wasn't because I was doing bad in school either. I mean, I had perfect grades, just like any Asian kid. just joking. But,
he said it.
But yeah, I mean, I was just a typical Asian. So, you know, I had to deal with all of that. And when I dropped out, I wasn't even making that much money. Like, it's not like I was banking or anything. I mean, I barely made any money, but I was making money. That's the key. I was making money. I wasn't making a lot, but I was making money. That's the key. And so I believed in myself. I was like, hey man, I can do this. I can drop out and believe it down in myself that I can make my own money, start my own business, and be successful. So that's the first challenge. And even after I dropped out, I mean, still negativity. But now, I mean, now they know I make some money. It's all chill now. But yeah, I mean, that's that. But the second challenge is, you know, probably no one that I knew of was doing dropshipping. None of my friends, none of my family knew anything about dropshipping. So I kind of had to learn everything by myself. I mean, there were courses back then, but I didn't even take a course. I literally went through the dirt one by one, took action, failed, made mistakes, lost money. I even lost money on my first few sales, but it doesn't matter because I made the sale. That's all that's matter. Because when I made that sale, I realized that, oh, people actually buy and this works. Even though I lost money, it doesn't matter if I lost money. And some people are just so scared to lose money and they never start. So that's like my second challenge was, you know, learning everything, you know, kind of figuring out everything from the scratch, because like everybody's is like, oh, this is too good to be true. And I was like, man, this is a really good business. I was so excited. I was like, wow, whoever figured this out must be like making a lot of money. But then I go in and it's just like, oh my God, there's so many people doing this already and they're making a lot of money. But yeah, those are like, I would say the two main challenges.
It's crazy, man, how it's really a battle within ourselves. So many times we get caught up in just planning and procrastinating, and, you know, people say it can't be done, and then people want you to do certain things. And it was really cool how you went about just taking action. Like you said, you went in the dirt, man. You went through it and you just took massive action. And, you know, I always say to people, like, when you're first getting started, don't worry about, like, obviously long haul profit is the most important, but when you're first getting started, just get a taste of what it's like, right? Whether that's retail arbitrage or drop shipping or wholesale, like, land that first account, make that first sale, list that first item, because what happens over time is you start to taste what it's like. You get a feel for what it's like to make a sale, or you hear that cha-ching, or you look at your dashboard and you see that sale and you're like, wow, like, if I was able to do one, what happens if I do two? What if I do three? And then you, like, slowly but surely optimize this, optimize that, and you meet somebody. That's why I think it was so smart that you started the YouTube channel, because I'm sure you've met so many amazing people who have been able to help you on your journey.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I learned about this, you know, phrase, or however you say it, from Sam Owens. He was like, when you go to school, they try to simulate reality.
I watched that video just recently. That was, keep going. Say that again. This is like the best line that you guys have to listen to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you can't simulate reality. Reality is reality. The only way that you experience reality is if you're in reality and actually experience it. And school cannot, like, simulate reality. So that's why you have to get in the field. Just get on it. You fall, you trip, it doesn't matter. At least you're on the field. If just because you're on the field, you're already ahead of, like, everybody else.
Half the people already are just on the side saying, I'm going to do this when the stars align, when I got my money right, when things are good with my family, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, I'm going to do it. They never do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever talk to people about, like, starting a business, but one of the things that drives me nuts, it's like a pet peeve of mine, is like, I've got the best idea. This is $1 million business. And, you know, I have plans to do this and that. And it's like, you have no idea what it's like to start a drop shipping business or an eBay business or a whatever business until you actually get into it. It's never going to be textbook.
Right.
And it's just cool, man. It's cool. It's definitely very inspiring to hear your story. Let's dive a little deeper right now and talk about some of the tools that you use. So for the people who want to get started, do you recommend that and especially with all the updates with the terms of service and stuff, and people getting in trouble with different softwares and just doing things the wrong way. Should people use softwares when they're first getting started? Any tools that you recommend? What's the deal with that?
Okay, so let me tell you guys kind of what I did. Okay, when I started, I didn't use any software. There were softwares, but I didn't use any software. I did everything manually. I was literally listing manually, copying and pasting manually. I mean, at one day I was literally sitting on my computer, sitting like all day, copying and pasting like 100 listings from Amazon to eBay. And I was like, man, I wish there was a software that helps me do this. And then that was like when I started looking into software. But obviously, you don't have to use software, okay? I mean, software helps you, but a lot of people is just like, I need software. I need software. What's the best software? What's the best product research software? I need the best of everything. And then like they don't even understand the basics yet, and then they want software. So you guys have to understand that you
build
don't
a foundation.
Yeah, the foundation. So I mean, nowadays obviously there's tons of software. So so again with the software. So about people getting banned with software and stuff. So here's the fact, okay? So in the eBay's terms of service, they do not allow API softwares. They do not allow it. It's literally in the fine print. But the funny thing to that is there's still tons of softwares that are using the API, and eBay knows about it, and they still allow you to do it. So what does that mean? That means most of what everybody is saying is false. And the truth here is right there in your eyes, in front of your face, because these softwares are still running and making money. And so you can definitely still use softwares. I mean, it just depends on how you want to run your store, but there are different options out there. You have SKU Grid, you have All2DS, DSM Tool, Price Yak. I mean, I can name like 10. Yabale. So that's helps you monitor your price, monitor your stock, and you also have order processing software that helps you place orders fast with like Smart and Paste, where you literally get to copy the address with one button. And shout out to Jenny for that. And then you also have tracking, uploading software, product research software, Zeek Analytics. I mean, I did videos on all of this. So if you want to watch that, I mean, I can talk all day about the softwares, but yeah, that's essentially what you need.
Awesome. Cool. And I want to say right now, we've got 100 people watching live on a Tuesday afternoon. So I want to thank everybody who is here. We've got some more content we're going to share, but I just want to take a moment out of our day to say thank you. There's a million other things you could be doing right now. So hopefully you're finding value in this video. And if you haven't already had a chance to subscribe to Ty, our guest today, there is a link down in the description for you to go subscribe. So feel free to go subscribe. And I want to say right now, if we hit 100 likes, I'm going to give something cool away. I'm going to give away maybe some ebooks or some prizes, some different things that you guys can use to learn to grow your business. So I'm going to put that out there right now. Let's see who else we got in the comments. We have Nick Trevor in the house talking about some True Religion's jeans that won't sell on eBay. Well, this is a little side note right now. Not all True Religion jeans are created equally. Not all products, whether you're drop shipping or you're selling retail arbitrage items, all because you find a brand like Ralph Lauren or True Religion or Sony and you're selling it, there's different models and makes and colors and materials and sizes. So you really need to make sure that you're spending time in the sold listings doing your research. Research is very, very, very important. Let's see. We got the Colorado Kid in the house saying, "What's up, Steve? Been a long week. Feels good to be back." Great to have you here, the Colorado Kid. Thanks for smashing that like button. And we got Milko Nunez saying, "What's up, Steve? 10X. That's right. We're all about 10X in it. Grant Cardone style." Marco says, "Optimize pictures, descriptions, and keywords." Absolutely. Most people, when they're listing on eBay, whether it's RA or drop shipping, they're just copying and pasting. They're not really optimizing whatsoever. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm sure you've noticed this. If you want to stand out from the crowd, a lot of people think you have to go like 100% above. Like you have to like work 10 hours. Like for the most part, you could just do what everyone else is doing and just like spend 2 more minutes optimizing and you'll be above the crowd. That's how lazy the general public is.
Yeah. It's you just have to put in that extra effort. and like maybe flip the picture or add some like dark shade to the picture, and that's already helps you stand out. Like, I mean, just by standing out by like 1%, that's like will go a long way. So like if you think about this, like 1% standing out with, so let's say you have 100 listings, 1% for each of those 100 listings, I mean, that's up. If you're thinking the numbers.
We got Paul. I always want to say Lip Sky, and then I say Lip Ski, and I'm like, what is this? This last name is so cool, but I can never pronounce it. But either way, we got Paul in the house. Can you help me out, Ty? It's Ski, right?
Lip Ski, Lip Sky. I think it will be Lip Ski, yeah. Lip Sky just sounds.
I don't know. I want to say Sky because like when it comes to Paul's like sales, man, they're higher than the sky. They're like up with the moon, man. Paul is killing it. So great to see you in the house, Paul. We've also got my man Merch University in the house, Joe Clay. I don't know. Do you ever mess with have you looked into selling like t-shirts on Amazon Merch?
No, I don't really. I generally don't really like to sell clothing because I can feel that there's a lot of returns.
No, well, the way it works with selling on Merch, you guys should definitely check it out. I think it's like merch.amazon or something, but you can literally have a graphic designer create designs for you and you upload it onto shirts. And when it sells, Amazon prints the shirts, prints your design on it and ships it to the customer, and you just get a royalty. So there's no like ship. It's very like, it's crazy. It's like, it's even cooler. I feel like, well, not even cooler, but it's like literally it's drop shipping, but like you don't touch anything. They have like billion-dollar printing presses. It's crazy. Yeah. Merch.amazon.com. Check out Merch University. That's a crazy passive income. Dude, imagine having 1,000. You have your graphic designer create a couple 100, 500 designs. You upload it. You're going after niches using keyword research and stuff. And when it sells, they just print it, ship it, and you're done. It's crazy.
It's literally like drop shipping.
Yes, it's like drop shipping for sure. It's crazy. So check out Merch University. We got Steve Carroll coming in with a $10 super chat right now saying, thanks for the education. Well, Steve, thank you so much, man. You got a super cool name, Steve. I got to tell you that right now. That's my name, Steve Rakin. So anyways, appreciate you being here, Steve. That was the corniest line. The entrepreneur says it's pronounced Lip Ski, but if you search in YouTube, it's Lip Sky. All right, so I think we got it. So like you're going skiing. That's how I'm going to think of it. We got Nick saying, I tried Amazon FBA the other day, and I'm already up $50 in profit. Amazon FBA is amazing. I don't know if have you ever messed with like selling physical products, Ty?
So that's the funny thing. I was going to do Amazon FBA, but I literally bought some cheap products just to look at it. And I was going to like do some sort of FBA, but then like I found Amazon dropshipping and I figured, all right, I'm already doing dropshipping. So why not just stick to dropshipping? Because it's so easy to get distracted in so
shiny object syndrome.
Yeah, shiny object. I mean, it's so easy. Like, I mean, I've had that problem already. And you have to stick to one thing. Like if you're doing dropshipping, you really want to nail that dropshipping down before you start doing dropshipping, FBA, wholesale, private. I mean, all that stuff. I mean, you're gonna just like fail all of them, or just make no money in all of them. So
yeah, people think because like dropshipping's passive that it's like always passive, and it's not the case. Like whether you're doing Amazon FBA, because Amazon FBA physical products can be passive once you send in a bunch of stuff, and then the warehouses fulfill everything for you. But you still got to spend all that time finding all this stuff and shipping it in. And it's the same with drop shipping, where it's like people are like, there's so many people like selling this like dream that you're gonna like become a millionaire and like you're never gonna have to work and be on the beach. And it's like, listen, like. For most people, that's not going to happen. Like you can probably scale up to making $5,000, $10,000 profit a month, but you're going to put in a crap load of work. You're going to have to learn how to do things, optimize things, find products. And it's like, that's what I like about you, man, is you're real about the process. Like there's huge potential, but it takes a lot of upfront work.
Right. I mean, any business takes work. Like even what you call passive takes work. Because if you think about it, I mean, Dan Locke talks about this. If you think about it, if you have a business that's passive, it's not going to be passive forever because the market changes, economy
competition.
Yep. I mean, it can be passive for 10 years, but if all you do is just lay on the beach for 10 years and let that go passive, it's not going to be passive no more because soon enough, you're not going to make nothing.
There's always somebody who's watching what you're doing and they're trying to replicate you. They're trying to eat you alive, essentially. They're trying to take food off your plate. That's just the way it works in a market. And that's what causes products to get better and services to improve. And obviously prices to be competitive is there's always somebody who's gunning for you. It's a cool thing about business though, right? I mean,
except for Apple. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I don't use Apple anymore. I have a Google Pixel.
Okay, my friend has that phone and really enjoys it. So let's kind of transition over to some advice, because I've seen a couple questions coming in about I don't know how to get started. What advice would you give to somebody who wants to start this business, but they're just stuck in the planning, procrastinating, watching YouTube videos, and they're just like, it's like they've watched so many videos, and I've done this before, so I'm not talking down to anybody. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've fallen, like I've done this myself, but it's like, you know what to do, but it's like, you don't know where to start. Like, how do you take that first step? What advice would you give?
Yeah. So it just goes back to what I did. I just learned the basic, right? I just like, okay, this is how dropshipping works. You take an item on Amazon, you put it on eBay, and when it sells, you ship it. That's literally all that I needed to know. And I just made an eBay account, made a PayPal account, created my listings. That's it. Like, I didn't think about all the other stuff at all until I needed to, which is when I started getting orders, when I started making sales. And it's like, it's just learning the process. I mean, obviously you can't learn everything at once. Like, if I was to start and be like, okay, how do I deal with returns? How do I ship? How do I handle customer service? How do I set up taxes? How do I set up this and this is this? How do I set up my business? I mean, it's going to be like, oh my God, this is too much. Just start, make an account, make a listing, and then eventually you have everything that you need.
Dude, that is the best advice you can literally give. The absolute number one best advice you can give. Stop worrying about step 77 and step 159 of what's going to happen when this goes wrong and that happens. And then the government comes and then the cops are trying to put me into the paddy wagon. I'm just like, people always, it's good to plan for the worst, but you've got to take action. Like, if you're in business, there's always things that could go wrong, right? When you're utilizing another person's platform, even if you're not, like, people think that if you have a Shopify store, like, you have control of everything. Like, you're still relying on Facebook ads and different things like that, but get started with step 1, step 2, step 3. And I would say, instead of looking out like 6 years or like 6 months, look out a week, look out 2 weeks, ask yourself, what could go wrong during this small little subsection of the process? What could go wrong in the next step? Don't worry about what could go wrong at step 55. So that was huge.
Right. And again, it just goes back to how dropshipping is a real business, and you have to treat it like a real business if you want to get serious or make serious money. Because a lot of people just think easy automation, this is this, and then they end up not getting any results. And then they say, oh, dropshipping doesn't work, so I'm going to give up.
So let's talk about, because we're kind of coming down to the end of the show. We're gonna answer some more questions. If you guys have questions, drop a question down below. Also, do us a big favor and hit the like button. The reason I always ask people to hit the like button is because YouTube loves it. The more likes there are, the more they'll share this video with other people. And, you know, I've said this before, but the goal of this YouTube channel isn't for me to get as many subscribers and be famous and all this stuff. I don't care. Like, what I care about is helping people. I'm sick and tired of people seeing people suffer because they don't have enough money and they're working 9-to-5 jobs and they have no passion. They come home and they only have 2 hours to hang out with their family. It's like, I want to spread all the different business models that work as much as I can to people. So help me out, please. And share this video and like it, because there's just so many ways to make money online that could be helping people.
So speaking of that, I want to refer to Sam Oven again. The first thing he said was where you are in life right now is all responsible by you. I'm not sure if that's how you put it, but where you are right now, wherever you are financially, what you do with your life right now is all your fault. I mean, you can change it, right? Like, you have all the resources. All you got to do is just sit and work. That's it.
I agree. Do you have any final tips or advice for people? You know, we've had a pretty exciting video, and if there's any more questions that come in, we'll answer them. But really, any final words of wisdom, just based on your experience?
Yeah. So, like, if you want to start dropshipping, okay, it's not as easy anymore. That's what you gotta know. It's gotten a lot harder, which is a good and a bad thing, right? I mean, I actually kind of like it because it's hard because, I mean, I just see people just doing basic stuff and making a lot of money. And so when it makes it harder, I mean, it just separates the real hustlers from the lazy people. And so if you want to get into the dropshipping business, you have to be committed and work at it, because otherwise, you know, you're not going to get what you want. You're not going to get the results, and you're just going to, you know, blame and complain that this doesn't work, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it takes time to get results, and you have to be patient, right? You can't just be like, okay, I'm going to make 10,000 in my first month or 10,000 in my first 3 months, whatever. As long as you're making some money, I mean, just set realistic goals. I mean, slowly work at it, and, you know, just believe. I mean, just believe in yourself. It starts with believing in yourself. Believe that you can make it work, and just keep trying.
Yeah, that was a good point you made right there. It's like, it takes time to be successful. Like, a lot of people, like, they don't want to start a diet until it's too late, until like they get found, like they go to the doctor and they have a disease. It's true.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, people don't want to start a business until they're broke out of their mind and like $25,000 in debt. I'm not talking down or criticizing, because that was me 6 years ago. 240 pounds, 240 pounds, smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day, smoking all different types of stuff, broke as a joke, $23,000 in debt, living at home with my parents. Like, I was like the definition of just a piece of crap. Like, I had nothing going on in my life. So you could change your life. We got another great example from Steve saying, my son has multiple streams of income doing many things. He is 24 and made $200,000 last year, only second year being an entrepreneur. It is possible with absorbing all you can and put it to work, period. So yeah, you've got to put it to work. Start now. The point I was trying to make before I went on a tangent is, you've got to start now, because you're not going to have success in 30 days or 60 days. For most people, it takes 120, 180, 240 days. It takes 6 to 12 months to really get something going, regardless of what it is. I don't care what anybody's selling, any business model, any business. Very few people have success in 30 to 60 days.
Yeah. And I would say with dropshipping and in general, I think you should be patient for the first 6 months. And as long as you still stick through within, I mean, after 6 months, you still stick through, I mean, that's where you're going to make the most money. Because again, most people quit in like the first month, the first 2 months. And so if you are able to stick through for 6 months and still grind it out, then you're going to have success, and you're slowly going to see it. It's going to come exponentially as long as you keep pushing through.
Nick Triber says, which do you think would help me to get to 100K profit faster, dropship or physical products? It's the wrong question to ask. I'm not going to, it's just, those are the types of questions that are just people. And Nick, I'm not trying to put you down, but those are the wrong questions to ask. Stop. I used to fall victim to this all the time. I would set these goals of like, I'm going to do $100,000 this month. And like, I just got done watching The Secret, right? Or like some like Tony Robbins motivation. And it's like, set a goal. If you're making nothing, set a goal to make your first $100. And then once you hit that, set a goal to make 500 and then 1,000. Because when you start hitting your goals and you start doing what you're going to say you're going to do, you start doing it, you build up self-esteem. Momentum. And then you start, momentum. And a lot of times, for me personally, I used to always say I'm going to do something and I would never do it. Back when I was like 16, 17, 18, I would do that. I'm going to do this. Never did it. I want to do this. Never did it. So as I got older, when I said I was going to do something, I never followed through because I had no self-esteem. I didn't believe in myself. And I would set too big of goals when really in reality, I was nothing. I had nothing. I had no results. So start small, Nick. Any business model, whether it's drop shipping, physical products, wholesale, private label, could get you to big numbers. But it's just a matter of your personality, your goals, the time, your capital. So there's really no way to answer that. I don't know if you have any better response, but
it's good. It's good.
Okay, cool. Doro Vlogs is saying, what do you recommend to start selling drop shipping? Are there certain products you should focus on?
Yeah, I mean, there's general categories that you can do. You can do furniture is good. Furniture is really good.
High ticket, right?
Doesn't have to be high ticket. Because when you first start and you do high ticket, you're going to get screwed. Like you want to make sure that you understand the business model before you do high ticket. I mean, the most expensive thing I've drop shipped on eBay was like 1,000. like $1,000.
Did you make profit on that?
Like 10%, 15%.
Oh, that's sweet.
And that's just all from clicking and shipping.
You lazy son of a gun.
That's kind of funny. It's just like, all right, I'm sitting here when I'm like 17 years old, clicking one button and making like $100 profit.
Your friend had to work all week long at the gas station or at the retail store to make that.
Exactly. And that's literally why I'm just like, wow, this dropshipping business is just nasty. No, not nasty, but like, it's powerful, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, essentially furniture, household appliances, what else? Yeah, those are like the two main categories. I mean, toys are good too. You should generally stay away from, electronics. Generally stay away from electronics. And firearms.
Yeah, do not sell firearms on eBay.
I actually made a lot of money selling firearms.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious. No, not like real firearms, like
like BB guns and stuff.
Yeah, BB guns. Not like not like.
Jeez, I'm like, that was a mistake bringing them on the channel. Got to interview these people a little better.
Yeah, but
that's cool, man.
It's just funny.
Steve says the key is to learn the business, and a lot of it comes from your own process and just going through it.
Right.
So you can make mistakes and figure out the business.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I almost wanted to give up, like so close. And if I gave up that day, I would not be where I am today. Like nowhere.
What made you not give up?
Good question.
Did you have your back against the wall? Did you have no other options? Like a lot of times I feel like people have backup plans, so they give up. Did you kind of burn the bridges behind you or not really?
Like the give up part was just like giving up on eBay, not like giving up on myself. Like that's like a different thing, right? Because like I got my first negative feedback on eBay and I was just like feeling so bad. And because I messed up, because I messed up. Like I messed up in the way that I handled the customers. And so they were really mad, left me negative feedback. I'm just like, oh my God.
What did you do? We put you on the spot, Mr. Gun Dealer. Now that my video is demonetized, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so basically it was a dropship item. And it was like, I think it was either out of stock or the price went up. And I would lose, like $20 if I fulfilled it. And so I canceled it. And I still was selling it at a higher price. And so the customer was just like relisted it at a higher price. And I'm just, oh man.
He got you.
And I didn't know how to deal with that situation before. So that's why I kind of made that mistake right there. And from there, I learned from that mistake. And so what I did was like, I just set it on the side and, jump onto Shopify and be like, hey, I'm going to try Shopify. And then guess what? I mean, I put like $100 into it. But then at the same time, I was just still hung up with eBay a little bit and still kind of doing Shopify a little bit. So I was like half-hearted on both. And so guess what? I didn't make any results on either of them. And so until I decided to let go of that Shopify, right? And then I got back to eBay because I was like, oh, maybe I should give eBay a try again. Because Shopify was not easy, as a lot of people claim it to be. And so I kind of restored my hope into eBay. I restored that hope by like looking at, other successful sellers. I was just like, looking at other sellers that are doing well. And I'm just like, hey, these guys are doing well. I mean, it works for them. I mean, I can try again. And I created a second account. And so I built that second account, learning from the mistake that I made on the first account. And so that second account was running a lot better. Everything was a lot more smoother, basically.
Awesome. Sorry, I was just responding to Chase Miller in the comments. Where do you see yourself in like 5 years from now? Right now, you're 18 years old. Do you want to invest in any other types of businesses or real estate, or do you want to continue to scale your dropshipping business? Are you happy with being around the $100,000 a month mark in sales? Where's Ty Nguyen going in the future?
Well, I mean, I really want to work on the YouTube channel and build the community and then help people. But I mean, I'm still going to be dropshipping for a long time. I mean, I'm not going to give up on dropshipping because it is, again, one of the most beautiful business models. Low risk, like basically no risk at all. like what kind of better business can you have that has no risk? I mean, other than aside from the market going down, like you're not like gambling or anything. Like the only other way that you lose money is like you don't make any sales or something, but like it's not like you're going to the casino and rolling your money and hope that you win. I mean, it's low risk. I mean, you make money every time you make a sale, you make money. If you don't make a sale, you're not going to make money. Aside from, I mean, you're not going to lose money aside from the software expenses. And I mean, that's just part of business expense. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna continue making YouTube videos, grow my social media, do more networking, host an event in the future. I am in Washington, so I think Seattle event is coming soon. So that's hopefully everything is, settled and get my business together and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue to build myself up and, influence people basically.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a great way to close off the show. And I want to just thank you, Ty, for coming on the video and sharing your story and just giving massive value. I want to thank everybody in the audience for watching and commenting. If you all could do us a big favor and like, comment, and subscribe, show your support. We'll continue to bring you guys videos that help you and educate and inspire you. If you haven't had a chance to check out Ty's YouTube channel, there is a link in the description. And, feel free to check out his videos. He's got a bunch of awesome content on his YouTube channel. There's also some more resources in the description as well, so you can check that out. But Ty, thank you so much for coming on. Everybody in the audience, thank you so much for being super positive and encouraging. And maybe we can get you on in the future and do a little update.
Yeah. Thank you a lot. Thank you very much, Steve, for having me on. I really appreciate it. And guys, if you have any other questions, feel free to reach out to me on YouTube. I respond to every single comment. So if you have any struggles or anything, I'm here to help you out. And again, thank you guys for staying on and watching us.
Awesome. All right. Well, you guys have a great day. There's going to be a lot more videos coming this week, so stay tuned. And until then, have a great day, and we'll talk soon. Thanks again. Bye.
See you guys.